I'm Todd Dunn, and today I am just driving into Bar Harbor. It's a balmy 16 degrees here. This morning we had 8 degrees over in Bass Harbor as a low, and it is warming up dramatically. It's about 11:30 right now as we come into Bar Harbor. We'll have a look at the town and see what it looks like today. So we're just about to the stoplight, and then we will be continuing through downtown, take a look at downtown, and then I'm off to the supermarket. So here we go. We made the stoplight this time, and you can see it's not very crowded here. The period between Christmas and New Year's this year actually was fairly busy over on the western side of the island. We had quite a few tourists taking advantage of the lack of snow to get out on the trails. But they seem to have all disappeared now that we're into the new year. And as a consequence, it is very quiet over on the western side of the island, and so far it looks pretty quiet here. None of the hotels I've passed have been open, except for the Acadia Hotel here, which says open year-round. And here we are, just passing the Village Green as we come up to Main Street. And we'll make our turn and go down Main Street, and I'm going to brave the cold to step out into Agamont Park and have a look at the harbor and downtown. Now here's downtown. A few cars parked along the street. One out-of-state car from Connecticut. So far everybody else has been from Maine. And we'll see what it looks like. But as you can see, it's a little different than it is here in the summer. It's high tide right now, or very close to high tide, and it's a very high tide. So we will be seeing what that looks like here in Bar Harbor. I think I'm going to be able to find a place to park without any trouble. So we'll just stop and quickly take a look at things from Agamont Park. Here I am, standing in the middle of Main Street, looking up. Not too much traffic. And let's go over into Agamont Park. As I said, it's 16 degrees here in Bar Harbor. It's not particularly windy, a little bit of a west wind, but not bad. And we did have just a dusting of snow about 2 nights ago. And so there is a tiny bit of snow on the ground, but not very much. As you can see, the lawn looks snow-free, but it's not really, but there's a little bit. We look across Frenchman Bay. Harbor's pretty empty, just one barge out there, and that's about it. It's very quiet here today. This morning over in Southwest Harbor, there was a good deal of sea smoke over the water, but the wind here has cleared any that was here out. So there's Frenchman Bay from Agamont Park in Bar Harbor. And we're going to be looking into the sun to look up toward town from here. So there's the other end of Agamont Park. Downtown, looking very quiet. And I'll just walk over and we'll take a look up Main Street from a little farther up than I was before. So in contrast to August, when there would be lines of tourists waiting to get into the restaurants here just before noon, it's a little bit quieter today. And pretty much all the restaurants are closed for the season now. There were a few that were still open for the sort of Christmas to New Year's period, but I think they've closed now, as we are definitely in the off season. Although many of the trails in Acadia National Park are still walkable, you do have to watch out for ice though, particularly over the next few days, because it's going to rain, and then tomorrow, and then we go back into the deep freeze, which will leave a lot of ice in a lot of places. So there's downtown Bar Harbor today. Pretty quiet. Still very pretty looking out over Frenchman Bay. Okay, I'm gonna head down. We'll drive along West Street as I head over to the supermarket, which is the main reason I'm here today. Okay, one last look at the lower part of Main Street here in Bar Harbor. Okay, just pulled out of the parking spot down on Main Street, and we're gonna turn left here and go out West Street past all the waterfront hotels and brave the traffic down here. As you can see, the waterfront hotels look pretty quiet. Everything is closed up tight for the winter. Just a few people walking around, but other than that, Bar Harbor is put to bed for the winter of 2022. Turn here and go up to Cottage Street, and we will then turn down to the supermarket. So I'll take a look at a little bit more of the town part of Bar Harbor as we leave Bar Harbor after I do my grocery shopping. I just pulled out of the grocery store parking lot. It is 12:52. It took a while to do my grocery shopping. We're going to drive through a little bit of residential Bar Harbor. Sorry for the sun strike on the lens, but that's just the way it is with the sun today. Here in Maine, the sun is only getting to like 24 degrees above the horizon, so it's pretty low. And even now, just after noon, it's not very high. And this is a typical sort of residential street on the water side of Eden Street, between Cottage and Eden. And basically, it's mostly bed and breakfasts and motels and inns. And we'll go over here and run down another residential street just to see what it looks like. So you can see a little bit of the residential part of Bar Harbor. If I can get my turn here. There we go. And I think I will go down Spring Street here. So this is an inn initially, and then some residences as we continue through the residential part of Bar Harbor. Some of these are quite nice, small but nice homes, and good sized lots. We're going to turn left here and take a look at a little bit more of residential Bar Harbor. And as you can see, it's reasonably nice. As we get closer to Main Street over here, we are going to find that the houses are more closely spaced. And some of these streets don't actually go through, so we'll just keep going. And here we go. Down front now. I believe we're on Ledgelawn Street. I think there are no signs to tell me what street this is until I get up here to Eden Street. But you can see in some of these homes, they're nice big old homes. Oop, the road's a little lumpy. And this is quite a nice residential street here in Bar Harbor. And right up here, we're only 2 blocks from downtown. But in the residential part of Bar Harbor, it's hard to be more than 2 or 3 blocks from downtown. Here we go. Yes, this was Ledgelawn Avenue. And the houses along the street here, we're back on Eden Street, are pretty much all inns at this point, and or motels. So I hope you enjoyed seeing Bar Harbor here in early January 2022. And fairly soon, I think I'm going to do a Park Loop Road drive. I'm not going to do it today because it's a little bit cold, still 16 degrees. And out at the water, it will be chilly with the breeze. So I'm going to hold off until either it warms up a little or I am more acclimated to the cold weather. So while we're sitting here at the stoplight, I'll say, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't, why don't you consider subscribing to my channel and maybe even going all out and clicking that notification bell. Thanks for watching.